you could see in Spain it was monotonous watching them in the World Cup. They go side to side. They at least this time switched play field, and then when they did get the ball to the end line, they put it in the penalty area, and they had players in there, and they caused a whole lot of problems. I think all those things add together with a player who actually is a little bit more mobile, and they were hugely impressive.
Pivarich, the left back, got absolutely milled. He got wasted, and it wasn't all his fault because he had Perisic in front of him. But what was so impressive about Spain, Dan, was their positional sense. I talked about it yesterday when the game was on. We can talk about the Premier League, La Liga, the best teams, the biggest teams, Real Madrid and Barca. What is not up for debate, I think, in my opinion, it's not up for debate, is the technical superiority of Spanish players ahead of British players. I don't want to say English players, British players. The Spanish, to a man, are superior in the technical aspects of the game, both with their control, the distribution, and the mindset. And you saw it yesterday from Asensio. Everybody knows Asensio's got a great left foot and he's a talented individual. But watching him during the game, what impressed me more than his goals and his passing was his positional play. And his positional play allowed Carvajal to get forward. His positional play allowed other players to rotate. And I just think at 22, for somebody to be as sharp as that at this level is pretty special.
Sid? Well, and it's not just him. I mean, you look through the players who played yesterday, 5 of them were 23 or under. Saul is 23. You had Rodri in there as well. You had Gaia. And so it's a very young side. I think as well that Brian's right to suggest that this was a shift slightly in style. They were prepared to, in particular, to play those diagonal balls that changed the direction of play, in particular to go long. Yesterday it was 34 long balls, where the average in Russia was just under, I think it was 23. Maybe 22. There was a determination to accelerate everything. I think it's embodied by the shift in forward. I think it's embodied by the role of Asensio last night, and I think it's in particular embodied by Saul, a player who can do all of those technical things, who can pass the ball brilliantly, but also has that ability to arrive in the penalty area at just the right time. Maybe almost, kind of David Platt-esque, or like a Brian Robson used to be. The Spanish always just refer to it as llegada, that ability to arrive. It's all about that, and I think that breaks the play up, and that makes Spain a much more aggressive side with the ball. And so you see a team that still dominates possession, but it feels like there's much more purpose about them now.
It was a switchy play. Sorry, Dan. It was the switchy play that, to go back to the points Brian and Sid are talking about. Spain did have that little tiki-taka possession at times, and it did go sideways, but whereas before, and they've had success with it, but teams started to just pack that midfield, and they kept trying to knock the door down with a great goal, the great pass. What they did for me yesterday in that Croatia game is they went the sideways pass, and then when the time was right, they switched the play, usually to the fullback, or Asensio was coming infield, or it might have been the other side. But they switched it quickly, and then that opened up the game. That's something I think that they'd stopped doing, and I think it's something under Enrique we're going to see a lot more of. They're going to try and drag teams in, and they're going to try and hit that killer pass across the pitch.